Princess Anne, often considered the quietest and most reserved royal, just pulled off something no one saw coming. She took the word from King Charles himself. With a single move, she not only seized the spotlight, but also reminded the monarchy that her voice, her power, and her position are more relevant than ever. But how did this happen? And what does it mean for Charles, his reign, and the future of the royal family? It's easy to overlook Princess Anne. For years, she's been the royal family's unsung hero. Reliable, hardworking, and constantly in the background, serving her duties with a no-nonsense attitude. She doesn't crave the spotlight like her brother, King Charles, or his sons, William and Harry, and has always been about action over words. But something changed recently. Princess Anne, long seen as the steadfast daughter of Queen Elizabeth, has started to make a bigger impact, and not just in the charity world or the royal tours. She's now challenging the status quo, proving that even behind the shadows, she has the power to take center stage. To understand how and turn the spotlight on herself, we need to look at her relationship with her brother, King Charles III, and the monarchy as a whole. When Queen Elizabeth II passed away in 2022, the world's attention shifted to Charles, the man who had waited decades to claim the throne. But as Charles ascended to the monarchy, there were expectations, both publicly and privately, about how the royal family would adapt to this new era. It wasn't just about the king taking charge. It was about how the rest of the family would adapt to a future that, frankly, they didn't expect to come so soon. Princess Anne, always pragmatic and ever the professional, had quietly supported her brother's ascension. But there was something brewing beneath the surface, a desire to be seen not just as the spare, but as a key player in the royal family's future. And in 2024, at a pivotal moment in British royal history, and made a move that would shake things up. The catalyst for Anne's rise to prominence came during a high-profile royal event. The king, as expected, was leading the proceedings, managing the duties of a new monarch. But during a critical moment, when Charles was about to make a statement addressing a national crisis, Princess Anne took the floor, quite literally. The setting was a state dinner, an event where King Charles was expected to make an important speech. The royal family, as usual, was gathered at Buckingham Palace to greet diplomats and dignitaries. This wasn't just any dinner. It was a key moment in Charles's reign, where he would reaffirm the monarchy's role in a modern world. The press was watching, the world was listening, and everything was going as planned, until Anne stepped in. And, who had been standing at the back of the room, quietly observing, suddenly made her way to the front. Her actions were deliberate but subtle. No grand gestures, no long speeches. She simply took the word from her brother, King Charles. In a moment of calculated timing, she stood beside him, took the microphone, and spoke to the crowd. What followed was a calm but assertive address that caught everyone off guard, and did not overshadow Charles. Rather, she complimented him. Her speech wasn't a challenge to his authority, but rather an affirmation of the monarchy's future, a future she was making her own. She spoke with authority, compassion, and an undeniable sense of purpose. The room, initially stunned by her unexpected move, soon found themselves captivated by her words. For Anne, this wasn't just a moment of speaking up. It was a strategic move to remind both the royal family and the public that she was more than just a supporting player. For years, she had been relegated to the background while Charles, William, and even Harry took the spotlight. But now, Anne was signaling that the monarchy's future would need all its players, not just the direct heirs. Her words were carefully chosen. She acknowledged the challenges of the modern world, but focused on the importance of the royal family's role in guiding the nation through those challenges, and didn't seek to overshadow Charles or diminish his leadership. Instead, she subtly made it clear that her voice mattered, and that the monarchy's strength lies in its unity, in its ability to adapt, and in its shared commitment to service. This was more than a public appearance. It was a declaration. Princess Anne, the quiet royal, had arrived. She wasn't content to merely follow. She was willing to lead when necessary. Her willingness to step into the spotlight on her terms was a clear message to her brother and the public that the royal family was evolving. And Princess Anne, with her decades of service and experience, was ready to shape the future of the monarchy. What Anne's speech demonstrated was something that had been bubbling beneath the surface for some time: the royal family's need for balance. King Charles, despite his decades of preparation for the throne, was still adjusting to the role of monarch. He's been an advocate for modernization, but his reign has also been marked by challenges and scrutiny. While Charles works to establish his reign in a rapidly changing world, there's a recognition that his success will depend on the support and strength of the entire family, not just the line of succession, and in many ways embodies this shift. While Charles has been the face of the monarchy for decades and has long been its backbone, she has never sought fame, but has tirelessly worked behind the scenes for causes that matter. Her actions at the state dinner were a quiet challenge to the idea that only the immediate heirs to the throne can wield power and influence. Her speech was the latest in a series of increasingly bold moves. In the past, and had been known for her bluntness and practicality, but recently, she's become more assertive about her role within the family. Whether it's stepping in during moments of public attention or simply offering counsel to Charles, and has proven she's not just the daughter of the Queen. She's a key figure in the future of the monarchy, and she's not waiting for permission to take charge. Of course, this has raised some eyebrows within royal circles. Charles has always been close to his siblings, but Anne's increasing visibility raises questions about the balance of power within the royal family. Is Anne positioning herself as a key advisor, or does she have larger ambitions? Is her newfound assertiveness a sign of the family's shifting dynamics? For a family that has always been known for its strict hierarchy and sense of order, these changes might feel unsettling for some. The king, who has always known his sister to be direct and candid, appeared unbothered by Anne's speech. In fact, sources close to the royal family claim that Charles, who has always been fond of Anne, was impressed by her delivery and substance. But even so, it's impossible to ignore the implications of this shift. Anne isn't just speaking for herself. She's speaking for a new generation of royals who are determined to have their voices heard. The question now is, what does this mean for the future of the monarchy? As the next era unfolds, will Princess Anne continue to step into the role of a prominent figure? Or was this just a one-time moment where she took the word from Charles to remind the world of her importance? The dynamics within the royal family are evolving, and Anne's actions are a clear signal that the monarchy will no longer be defined by just one or two voices. With Princess Anne's bold move, the monarchy faces a new chapter, one where power doesn't simply rest with the king and the direct heirs. The future is being shaped by those who've always been there, but have never been truly heard. So, what's next for Princess Anne? Will her newfound prominence change the royal family forever? Or was this just a fleeting moment? The world is watching, and with each move, Princess Anne is proving that her role in the monarchy is only just beginning. And as for King Charles? Well, it's clear that his sister has made her presence felt. What happens next could redefine the royal family's future in ways no one could have predicted.